United States Highway 22. Yeah. Alright, US 22 is a nice, very scenic road in Pennsylvania that goes from the west to the east, and we'll get to some urban areas along the way. Here's our map. You can see that we will start in a town called Paris. Yeah, Paris. And we'll go through Pittsburgh, through the mountains, through Harrisburg and Allentown, finally ending in Easton before crossing into New Jersey. You're watching the Xavier 456. I post new highway content every week. If you like what you're seeing, give us a like. And if you really like it, why not hit that subscribe button? More subscriptions. And as of this video, I have 1,000 subscribers! Woo! That is a milestone. Alright, let me just remind you that you can request your exit or intersection in the comments below. Next week we'll be doing US 30. Alright, first we are going to talk about eastbound. US 22. Here we are crossing in for West Virginia, and yeah. I do not spend time ranting about this sign as much as Quartermanch does. But anyways, here is our first mileage sign. We can see Bavington on the top at 4, our secondary, and Pittsburgh at 26, our primary. Great job having Pittsburgh as the primary here. We meet PA Turnpike 576, and this interchange was requested by Mr. Shaf. This interchange here is absolutely one of the weird ones for sure. Like, look at this. This isn't the standard freeway interchange. I call this kind of interchange the square interchange, and just for the occasion, I made this image on your top left perfectly square. We get PGH International Airport and Washington PA. If we look up at the same interchange, we can see US 22 East signed for Pittsburgh, just like what was on the mileage sign, so that is great. Here we meet I-376, signed west for the airport, and US 22 and US 30 are going to join 376 East here to Pittsburgh, and keep it there. We also see the 2 I-79 thing there, so good direction there. Now, since US 22 and US 30 run with I-376 to its very end, I'll skip Pittsburgh and leave you to watch the I-376 video for that information. At the end of I-376, when we meet the turnpike, we get Ohio and Harrisburg, and US 22 East is signed for Murraysville. Excuse me, that's the next town, literally the next town. But did you know, interestingly, Murraysville is Pennsylvania's 3rd largest city in area because of how hilly it is. Here in Murraysville, we can see this completely damaged sign. We get Pittsburgh 22 going westbound and Ebensburg 51. I like that sign, Ebensburg, so we're skipping over a town. It could be signed, but I don't know if it should. Ah, there it is. At the intersection with PA 66, we get US 22 East Blairsville. That's kinda Control City worthy. We meet US 119 there, so maybe you could sign that over Ebensburg. But here PA 66 is signed for Delmont Greensburg. Greensburg's fine, but we're already in Delmont and it's so small. I think you should be signing Butler if you don't want to make any turns. But just one more thing about this interchange, it was requested by Psychedelic Narwhal, so thank you for the request there. This is where you meet with southbound US 119, and it is signed for Greensburg, as was PA 66. So that works. And when US 19 splits off from us, it is signed for Indiana. So this is a bit of a problem. There's both an Indiana and a California, both in the state of Pennsylvania, and they're both on signs, so if this is the case, do what you do with Washington and put PA there to avoid any confusion. Here we get what could be the highest point on US 22 here in Pennsylvania. This is Laurel Ridge Summit in the Allegheny Mountains, elevation 2,440 feet. Here in Ebensburg, we meet US 219, and it is signed south for Johnstown, that is fine, and north 219 to US 422, Carrolltown and Indiana. Indiana I stated earlier, but Carrolltown, I feel like that could just be Du Bois. And we now get East US 22 Hollidaysburg. I know that's where we're going to have a major intersection, and we don't quite make it into Altoona, but I think you should still sign Altoona. Before we get to I-99 and US 220 signed for Altoona and Bedford. Just go. Cumberland. US 22 actually exits itself, and we get Hollidaysburg. Well, I mean, it's fine to sign it there since we're south of Altoona at this point. US 22 actually exits itself, and we got Hollidaysburg and Duncansville. Duncansville actually comes before Hollidaysburg. And this was actually requested by the Derp Hog, and even though I'm making a video soon, please check out his US 220 video if you are interested right now, and if you don't want to wait for my video. Here we are in Hollidaysburg, and we see that we get Huntingdon going 28 miles away. And that is fine. Here we are in Huntingdon, and this interchange was actually requested by Quartermanche 437, PA 26 for Everett, Huntingdon, and State College. State College is there, and is mentioned because this road provides a direct connection to State College, which is his hometown. So thank you very much for the request. And go Nittany Lions. From this point, we are now signed for Mount Union. Oh, that's pretty small. And then in Mount Union, we get Lewistown. They're only telling us Lewistown because it's a major interchange with 3 US highways, but still not worthy of control cityhood, as I've learned from Quartermanche 437. Well, here is this major interchange. US 322 is going west to State College. You can continue straight to go down to
Electric Avenue.
And we're gonna join up with East US 322 and North US 522, all bound for Harrisburg and Selinsgrove. Selinsgrove's there because of 522, but US 22 and 322 do both go to Harrisburg, and that is ultimately what is signed. Excuse me, we just had Selinsgrove signed on US 522 northbound. Now it's just dropped and replaced with Walnut Street. Not sure about that decision. The reason is probably that we meet with US 11 and US 15 here, and they signed Selinsgrove on this road as well. And they also signed Camp Hill, and I still do not like the decision at all. This is our crossing of the Susquehanna River, and we're actually looking in the other direction right now because Barry Hostetler wanted to see this. We're looking towards the town of Duncannon, which again is his dad's boyhood home, so thanks again. The ridiculousness is beginning. We meet with I-81 South Carlisle just because of the turnpike, you know, Roanoke, and we meet North 81, and East 322 is going to branch off here and go to I-83 for Hershey and Hazleton. Not Hazleton, Scranton. And East US 22 and PA 230 are going directly to Harrisburg. Here's actually where we turn left, and we don't quite make it into downtown Harrisburg. You can see that on your right, but we're now diverted away from Harrisburg to continue eastbound. Oh god, we have a second meeting! This time it's I-83, and it gets Hershey and York. You know, Baltimore, but US 322 does go towards Hershey. That's what I've stated through the whole series. And 81 West 322, Carlisle, Hazleton. No. Roanoke, Scranton. However, US 22 does get a great jump. We get Allentown at 70 miles. Oh god, we're meeting I-78. And we're gonna be going towards Allentown from this point. Maybe the thing that you should do is 78 is supposed to be signed for New York City the whole way. Put Allentown for 22 and New York City for 78. And here's where we leave I-78, and we see East US 22 to I-476 and PA 309. Lots of major roads here. PA Turnpike, should just have the cities there, and 56 Airport. Get it? Because LVI is the Roman numeral for 56. Yes, this was a Todd reference. Here is where we meet the turnpike, and we get Philadelphia and Scranton as it should be. And here is our intersection with the aforementioned PA 309, which is signed south for Quakertown. Not so sure about that, maybe it works. And north Tamaqua. Not sure about that either. From this point, we're signed east for Bethlehem, and I don't think it should be signed here either. It's just because of the intersection with PA 378, and it's basically a suburb of Allentown. But here is our exit for Lehigh Valley International Airport, and we actually do get periods, L, V, I, just to not make it a Roman numeral, so good job there, PA. Also, why are these signs so far on the left of the holder? Why not move them over a bit? And here is where we meet PA 378 and signed for Bethlehem and Shonersville Road. Okay, so you can sign Bethlehem here because this is where it goes directly. And East 22 now signed for Easton. And I believe signing this US highway for Easton is good because signing it on 78 is basically worthy of PENNDOT actually getting sued by motorists. because they can't go to New York City. We meet with another major PA highway, PA 33, signed south for 2 I-78. That is good, because that's where it ends, but you could just sign New York City. And 33 north is getting Stroudsburg, which is fine for a PA highway, but it's also a control city on I-80. Here we are in Easton, and we got a sign that just says exit with no number, because US 22's exits are not numbered. That's just a little ridiculous. And we got East 22 to 78, Phillipsburg. No! That's just across the river. And NJ dot and PA dot are basically the same thing. I have no choice but to do this to you, US 22. And after the bridge over the Delaware, we get this sign for Main Street, Broad Street, Phillipsburg. That should not have been signed. So we're done here in Pennsylvania, so let's turn around and talk about westbound US 22. Now here's what the bridge actually looks like, and we can see downtown Easton to the left. We get 2 exits, which are PA 611 and just Easton. Okay. And we get West 22, no control city. You should probably throw Allentown on there. Here we meet PA 33 again, and we get North Stroudsburg and South 278, same thing as before. And here we meet PA 378, South Bethlehem, and we actually get the next exit for LVI Airport right here. Here we are at PA 309 again, North Tamaqua, South Quakertown. Maybe those are the best choices for 309 here. Meeting with I-476 here, Philadelphia, Scranton, simple as can be. I should have also mentioned that we are signed for Harrisburg at this point, probably all of you already know. And here is where we merge back into I-78. Much later on, this is where we branch off of I-78 and we get to PA 343, Lebanon, and Fredericksburg. What the heck? Though I can kind of see the argument signing Harrisburg on this when it's already on the interstate, so I guess it works. Okay, this is mesmerizing. We get both a new sign and an old sign up in the same place. The old sign says 81 South Carlisle, oh no, and North 81 East US 322 and 2 I-78 Hazleton, Allentown. Allentown is there for 78 at least. And on the new sign, we get 81 South Carlisle and North 81 East 322, and we don't actually get a 78 shield anymore. Hershey, Hazleton. And at this point, US 22 and US 322 West are signed for Lewistown, which I am now agreeing with Courtemanche that that is not the right choice. But now on this new sign, we get West for State College, which is absolutely the right choice. Great job, PA. You've admitted your mistake and you fixed it.
Psych! That's the wrong
Control City. This video is just descending into madness. So here 322 West splits for State College, and US 22 and 522 are going to Mount Union. Here in Mount Union, we get Mount Union going straight, but we then get Huntingdon as our control city going west. Here we are at PA 26 again, but we don't get a big sign like we did going eastbound. We just get Hollidaysburg 28, that's for us, Huntingdon, and State College. And State College is obviously the primary here, so that is the correct choice. Here, westbound 22 exits itself, and it gets 2 I-99 and US 220, and all we get is Ebensburg. I'm glad you only have the 22 control city on there. And we get PA 764 North, now signed for Altoona via 6th Avenue. Here's our ramp 2 I-99 and US 220, Altoona, Bedford. Just get me out of this place. And US 22 West, Ebensburg. Okay, here's our ramp for US 119 North for Indiana with no paw there. There should be a paw. And West 22 and South 119, Blairsville, Pittsburgh. I think that is a great job throwing Pittsburgh on there. Oh well, what a shocker. Now Pittsburgh is dropped and we just get Blairsville. You should have just kept Pittsburgh on there. But now we get US 219 to US 422, Carrolltown, Indiana. Now I should have mentioned this going northbound. There's no such thing as Carrolltown in the state of Indiana. All the more reason to put a paw after Indiana. And 219 South Johnstown, yeah, that works. We just get no more Pittsburgh signage at all, and then we just get Delmont, which is too small. And 119 Greensburg, that's fine. And here we are, PA 66, Greensburg, Delmont. No, that should be Butler. And 22 West Murraysville. My god, why can't you sign Pittsburgh anymore? If this is what you do, you lose, my friend. And here we are meeting with 376 again, and we join up with it for Pittsburgh. You finally get to sign it now that we're at this interchange, and we get 76 Ohio Harrisburg and Business 22 Monroeville. We won't actually follow the business route this time since I'm a little lazy. After our stretch with 376, we split off for US 22 and US 30 West Weirton, and this is an interchange I've seen a lot in my youth. But it's weird that once we are on the road itself, we get Weirton and Key Bank Pavilion. This event space is actually not called Key Bank Pavilion anymore. It's just called the Pavilion at Star Lake. Here's where US 30 splits off, and also with South PA 978, to avoid confusion with PA 987 from earlier, we get Imperial. Okay? Maybe just go with East Liverpool or something like that. Here you meet with PA Turnpike 576 again. Same control cities as before, and that is always signed like that since 2021. And this exit for PA 18 is actually what carries traffic to the pavilion. Event traffic use both lanes on ramp. And welcome to West Virginia. Wild and wonderful. I love this sign so much. It's one of the best welcome signs ever. But that'll be it for US 22 today. We'll get to US 30 next week. I'll see you then. I'm Xavier456, and as always, may peace be with you.